The reason why I left Angie house is because it's very, very sad. I feel like I'm I'm an unwanted guest. Like I wasn't treated like I'm a husband, you know. Like I was treated like I'm just a nobody. That's just how I'll put it. It's
Yeah.
was. Every day we fight. This I'm telling you, the river. Every day we fight. We argue. Many things. It's a lot. For me to leave, for me to have left, rather. It was. It had gotten to the point I couldn't just bear it anymore.
The house that Angela lived in was always more than just a place to live for her. It was a representation of her autonomy and sovereignty. It was a beautiful southern mansion from the outside, painted it in a lively color that made it stand out in the neighborhood. It came with a bright yellow exterior. Angela was often bragging about it, stating that she had purchased it with the money that she had made from her appearances on the daytime talk show 90 Day Fiancé on TLC. In spite of the fact that they were married, she reminded Michael on a regular basis that the house was really hers and not theirs. She would emphasize, "This is my house, not yours," each time he arrived, making it quite obvious that he had no input in the decisions that were made regarding the residence.
In regards to you, and you said you got fed up. You hit a breaking point. Can you tell us what was the final straw?
I was just treated badly by her. Whenever she's upset, she can do whatever she wants. And the law here, I don't want any issue. I don't want any bad record of my name. So I tend to, keep it cool. To be honest, I was scared. Sometimes when she's very upset, she made me feel scared.
On the other hand, things were significantly more complicated behind closed doors. Angela went to tremendous efforts in order to conceal the truth about the house from everyone. Michael was not aware of any of the documents or financial information that she concealed from him, as she insisted that it was none of his business. Angela would go into a frenzy whenever Michael suggested making copies of the paperwork or question anything about their money. She would accuse him of attempting to undermine her in every way he could.
You did all this to me. Do what you want, honey.
No, I'm asking you a question.
No, back up. You're getting on my goddamn nerves.
She won't delete social media for me, so why should I delete mine for her?
Give me a taxi.
Let me take you back to
No,
the
I'm
hotel.
good, Michael. I'm not mad at you. Go play on your Instagram.
If I don't put my foot down, I'm never gonna have any say in this marriage. But at the same time, I still love her and I still want the marriage to work.
The dangers that Angela posed extended beyond monetary concerns. Michael was regularly reminded of his tenuous immigration status in the United States by her, and she would say things like, "I can have you sent back to Nigeria whenever I want." Because of his fear of being deported, Michael refrained from questioning Angela regarding the house or their financial situation. Even when he overheard Angela bragging about using TLC money to buy the house or laughing about how Michael didn't know the real situation, he felt as though he was caught in a web of manipulation and terror. He felt as though he was trying to escape from it. He did not speak because he was frightened that if he did, it would put an end to his American dream.
Like I said again, if I was using her for the green card, I would have been long gone. I wouldn't even get to the house. And this is what people don't know. It's not all about the green card. I just want to have a good family, make money, do things, go out. It's not all about the green card. Like I said earlier, an immigrant, you need to have your green card to able to get your other IDs, your other things to together. It's not all about the green card.
It wasn't until Michael made the decision to pursue legal action regarding their financial disagreements that more information about the residence began to become public. He sought the advice of a lawyer because he was fed up with being treated as if he were less than a partner. The inquiry conducted by the attorney unearthed alarming information. Angela had purchased the house with money from a shared bank account, money that Michael had donated, assuming that it was for their future together. Michael's confidence had been abused by Angela, and she had fraudulently transferred the money without his knowledge. Michael was taken aback by the revelation. The house, which Angela had displayed as a representation of her prosperity, was in reality constructed on a foundation of deceit. Angela had gone to any extent necessary to conceal the true origin of the funds, including altering documents and soliciting the assistance of her pals in order to cover her tracks. Angela's reaction was one of rage when she learned that Michael was contesting the ownership of the house. She made a public denial of the allegations, asserting that she had purchased the house from TLC with her own money and accusing Michael of attempting to steal from her. During the time that Angela was making a valiant effort to reject the facts, her behavior became increasingly unpredictable. She persisted in threatening and insulting Michael in the hope of intimidating him into abandoning the accusation against him. However, Michael was no longer the terrified individual that he had been in the past. He had examined the evidence, and he was resolved to carry out the legal process. This fight was about more than just the house as far as he was concerned. It was about restoring his dignity and standing up to years of being manipulated and abused.
I thought the distance is the problem. We're staying very far apart is the problem, and probably when we get together, things gonna change. I've said this before on the show, but unfortunately, I'm wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah, well, the distance was one thing, but it was her behavior, even when she was with you or even over the phone.
You're an ugly son of a son of a son of a son of a.
Calling you out of your name.
I don't want to talk bad at her because she has been wonderful to me, but on the other hand, I mean, it's crazy, man.
As the legal struggle became more intense, Michael's attorneys produced persuasive evidence demonstrating that Angela had used Michael's money and deceived him into believing that he had no rights. Angela allegedly boasted about concealing the money and made jokes about how Michael would never find out about it. According to the testimony of many witnesses, the judge found in Michael's favor and ordered that he be awarded half of the house. Additionally, the judge ordered Angela to repay the money that she had taken from their joint accounts. Angela was in utter disbelief. It was now Michael who was in possession of the mansion, which she had formerly considered to be a representation of her dominance. She had no choice but to leave the house that she had defended with such ferocity, as she was compelled to go. Her humiliation in public was complete when it was revealed that she was a manipulator and a liar simultaneously. In Michael's mind, the house turned into a sanctuary of tranquility and healing. He started redecorating the property and making it his own once he realized he was no longer living in dread. He made the decision to become an advocate for people who had been abused or exploited, and he intended to use his experience to assist others who were in situations that were similar to his own. His tenacity and power were now represented by the house, which had been a battlefield in the past. After regaining his self-respect, confidence, and freedom, he was resolute in his determination to never again allow someone to take any of those things away from him. After Angela had moved into a more modest flat, she started to think about the choices she had made. Despite the fact that she was upset, humiliated, and resentful over losing the house, she was aware that she was the one who had brought this situation upon herself. Michael had distanced himself from her as a result of her need for control and her manipulative behavior, which had cost her everything. As Angela began to recognize the shortcomings in her personality, she began to question whether or not she could ever change. However, for the time being, the world regarded her as a cautionary story, seeing her as a person who had lost everything because she refused to play fair. The relationship between Angela and Michael is fraught from the very beginning. As soon as they meet, Angela establishes herself as the dominant partner, and she is quite vocal. Angela, who is brash and unapologetic, is always ready to make her voice heard. Her shouting has become her signature move, a method that she uses to assert her control and impose her will on Michael. Every disagreement, regardless of how minor, becomes an opportunity for Angela to raise her voice, drowning out any attempt by Michael to express his thoughts or feelings.
This is my car.
I'm out! She's
How about that?
taking your car apart!
My car.
Michael! Come on, Michael!
I paid for this car. It's acceptable? Text messages, oh, you're in pain, laugh out loud. Is that funny to you? You know the difference between you and I, Michael? I have a heart. I'm a mean bitch. I'll fight in a goddamn minute and I'll with you. You have no heart, man.
Have a seat.
If you think you gonna keep that Instagram, you got a wrong bitch, man.
Let's discuss, okay?
At first, Michael makes an effort to calm Angela down by assuming that her outbursts are simply a part of her personality, either a cultural difference or a manifestation of her fiery temperament. He then laughs it off, makes an effort to remain calm, and hopes that things will get better. In spite of this, he quickly comes to the realization that Angela's yelling is not merely a habit, but rather a weapon that she employs in order to exert control and influence over him. Michael feels as though he must walk on eggshells in order to avoid triggering her fury because of the environment that is created by her frequent ranting, which is characterized by tension and anxiety.
If anything happened in the house, I'll be the first person to be called. I mean, I can't even be free in the house. Always monitoring me, checking my phone and all that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Every mistake and every misunderstanding is met with a bombardment of angry words from Angela. She yells at him for the simplest of things, such as if he does not answer his phone immediately, if he chats to another lady, or if he does not respond quickly enough to her requests. Angela's voice, which is loud and harsh, fills the space between them, which causes Michael to emotionally distance himself even farther. Looking at their toxic marriage, fans rushed all over the internet to share their opinions, saying she wanted a younger man to control him. There's no man her age that would put up with her BS. She's very toxic and I'm glad they're not together anymore. Even if she was the last woman on earth, I would never touch her, I swear. Angela is nuts. How could anyone say Michael is anything more than a respectable man? All she did was argue, threaten, and berate him all the time. What are your opinions on the ongoing drama between Angela and Michael? Feel free to share your views in the comments below. Who do you think is responsible for this nasty relationship filled with fights and misunderstandings?